All right, so what is Teradici, right? We're going to talk about secure, high-performance remote desktops for game development and learning. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter. You can see my handle there. It's pretty simple, just my name. And the first thing we're going to talk about is really the paradigm shift that's happened in the industry this year. Honestly, right, every industry in the world has changed, and everything about people's daily lives throughout the world has changed with the pandemic. And the crazy thing about gaming is it's one of those industries that's actually experienced a huge increase and uplift in demand for your products and your services. And from some of the figures that we've seen, the industry is forecasted to be worth just shy of 160 billion by the end of this year alone. So I'm sure we'll have some numbers at the end of the year to tabulate that and see. But regardless, we've all seen this rapid increase in online gaming, game consumption, game production. The demand has gone up rapidly. And we've also seen kind of the innovation too with cloud gaming models, right, from Google, with Amazon's product, NVIDIA's product as well, the subscription for online gaming. So a lot of options out there for gamers. But really that whole paradigm shift and the flip side of that, the harsh reality, right? As artists, game developers, testers, everyone in the industry, you've had to adjust to this new normal of remote working. If you're not already working from home, that's kind of a caveat we'll be revisiting throughout the session. But everyone's adjusting to this new normal, and the deadlines haven't changed. In fact, there's more deadlines, there's more content, more demand from consumers. So it's really crazy with gaming, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you all how crazy it's been in the industry this year. So I want to leave this up for a few seconds and let y'all read this. This is a pretty interesting report that we saw from GDC this year, some storytelling from industry leaders in gaming. So I'll leave that up and you can read those quotes for a few seconds. And the one that's really interesting, I think, is on the left in the middle there, where you see that one leader said, they did fine. They were ready for a work from home model, but most of their delays are because other companies and studios, partners in their ecosystem, are not ready for a work from home model. So that just goes to show you could have had a remote work strategy in place or on hand, ready to implement in case of a pandemic or other event or something like this. But there are other companies in your ecosystem that you depend on in your pipeline that may not have successfully adapted to working from home, and that can impact you as well. It's kind of that age-old analogy of only being as strong as your weakest link. And double-clicking on what that new normal is, right, and looking at some data here, I think it says 1/3 of game developers this year have had a game suffer a delay. I would ask you folks to verify that number and validate. Maybe share in the Q&A that we have standing by if you have any comments on game delays. If you think that number is too high, too low, would be interested to hear your personal feedback and stories there. But one of the interesting things too, we're a very security-focused company. We work with a ton of federal agencies, highly sensitive companies in media and entertainment. And we've seen a rapid increase in cybercrime attempts this year with the work from home shift. And lo and behold, that's not a huge surprise, right? Hackers are incredibly intelligent to begin with, and they see this whole new universe of potentially vulnerable endpoints with people now working from home instead of on the company network or IP or secure VPN all the time or whatever. Right, hackers can now penetrate these vulnerable endpoints, and we've seen that with data this year, and it's something that companies we work with are dealing with all the time, and we help them with. So it's been sad too, and I'm sure we've all missed out on not having industry events and conferences, and it's something that folks in the that are not in the industry don't realize. Many companies and studios attain funding rounds, they secure new deals or agreements with partners, have really strategic meetings at these conferences, besides just showing off products and meeting with customers and consumers, right? But the important thing here, and kind of what brings us all together here today, of course, this is an example of it, is IGDA has provided a ton of resources, a ton of support for folks this year, for game developers, testers, artists, everyone in the industry to help adjust to the new normal and these stressors of working from home. Right, the common thread with those quotes from the leaders we saw in the last slide, it's stress and anxiety. And huge shout out to IGDA for hosting events like this and other resources and providing things that are hopefully helping y'all adjust to the new normal. And I'm sure you can speak to that from your own experience, ways in which you've benefited from IGDA's support. Cool. So now that we've got kind of the intro and set the stage with context and gone through that, we're going to go into Teradici. What is the company? What's our history? If you're not familiar already, what are our solutions and how can we help? And how have we helped game development companies and studios already? So Teradici's actually been around for a while, and if you've heard of the PC over IP protocol, that's Teradici. We've been really the gold standard in remote computing for years, and our technology has been licensed by both VMware and Amazon over the years into their own products. Today, there's over 15 million Teradici endpoints deployed throughout the world. We're extremely well known in the media and entertainment industry. We work with many Fortune 500 enterprises, and again, highly sensitive organizations and federal government agencies. We're very strong in the federal government and work with companies that share really the same concerns as far as sensitive IP and assets and intelligence shared between across media and entertainment and the federal government. It's a common thread that we see, and that's why we've had such traction with both segments. And the important thing to note is that Teradici is very much a partner-first company. We have a vast partner ecosystem, and we're dedicated to making sure that our technology works well and works seamlessly with all the other applications and things that you use in your tool chain. Okay, now pulling back and looking at a high level, right, to understand where Teradici sits in the market, it's important to look at some of the industry trends that we fit into and that we help address for companies. With multi-cloud becoming more inherent and folks really adopting all types of cloud services from Amazon to Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, even Oracle and Alibaba and others out there, private cloud service providers. Multi-cloud seems to really be the strategy along with hybrid cloud, if that makes sense from a cost and security perspective and control. We see most folks having a hybrid approach actually with some resources on premises and some in the cloud. Again, we're very security focused. We're all about security, compliance, and IP protection. That's part and parcel to who we are. And again, why we're so successful in not only media and entertainment, but the government as well. Mobile workforce, mobility, agility. Again, you saw in the beginning, it's all about Teradici being able to make remote work work everywhere and anywhere. That's our mantra that we repeat, and we're all about enabling a mobile workforce for companies. And kind of in that same vein, too, we help companies deploy new service models like desktop as a service and give them cost-effective ways to leverage the latest compute, the latest GPU, infrastructure in the cloud or on premises again. And now going a second level deeper, right, from the high level into specific business challenges that companies experience, right? These may be challenges that your company has experienced, and let's see if any of these resonate with you. But obviously, we've talked about this, the valuable IP in gaming. Any kind of breach is bad. We've seen that happen with studios of all sizes where there's a breach, data is stolen, and data is leaked. It happens all the time, right? On-site hardware is expensive to scale and manage. That's a big one. We help companies with digital transformation, infrastructure consolidation. These are the big themes with us and what we help address as far as challenges, cost of infrastructure. Again, modern and mobile workforces, off-site, everywhere, globally distributed. That's going to be the trend, obviously, from here on out. Even post-COVID, it's looking like from the data we've seen, most companies will at least have a blend of work from home and working from an office location. And going to the top again on the right, on the same wavelength, right? Those teams, they need instant access to shared files and instant secure access. So it's very important that you have a solution that's giving you an agile, mobile way to access those files, again, securely in a way that's not giving up data across the network. And then, right, everyone wants the latest compute and GPU resources. This has been a great year for processors and GPUs. I was lucky enough to get the RTX 3070 recently. I just had to camp out for about 4 to 5 days, sell my left kidney. I think I got a great deal, but that's just me. So my frame rates for Among Us are just through the roof, I got to tell you. No, but jokes aside, right? You really do want to be able to use all of your cores, leverage the largest in the cloud GPU resources or the data center resources. And some of you may have the 3090s, cranking those out for your rendering projects at home and your own rigs or your workstations. We get it. And we're always going to support the latest. And going back to the partner ecosystem point, we work so closely with NVIDIA and AMD. Those are among our closest partners, as well as the cloud vendors and on-premises infrastructure vendors, to make sure that our technology works seamlessly with the latest and greatest. And then lastly, again, data sets are just exploding, right? We know it. All the AAA games now are reaching like 100 gigabytes or more. It's huge. It's massive. Some of you all are probably dealing with huge data sets. It's taking long to transfer those from workstations to another device or another site. So we have ways to help make that simple and secure, and help you make those big, beautiful games quickly without delay. Okay, so bringing it back to why Teradici, right? And then we're going to look at the technology, but why do folks choose Teradici? And this applies to gaming, really any industry. It's about the user experience for us. We're going to go into that and some of the specific features that make it so great. Ease of deployment and management. For a user, it's easy to deploy and get up and running. And for the IT staff, it's extremely easy to manage our virtual desktop environment. It's extremely secure. The remoting protocol, again, has been the gold standard for security. And the key thing for us is that we actually do not transmit data over the wire with our protocol. That's right. So we only do pixels. It's encoded and decoded. So you're actually not sending data to endpoints. So that's a very key point, and one of the ways in which we circumvent hackers and circumvent attacks before they even happen. And then lastly, in the bottom right, again, the partner ecosystem. That's a common denominator here in the session today. We'll be talking about. We give you the flexibility to work with not only the multi-clouds, the on-premises infrastructure, but all different devices as well. Wacom tablets, laptops, Zero clients, and we'll actually take a look at one here. As you can see in the background, we've got one. All right, so for those of you who are not familiar, what is PC over IP? So PC over IP is the protocol, the foundation of our technology, and PC over IP Ultra is something we developed over the last few years, specifically focusing more on high frame rates for graphics-intensive workloads and users without any compromise on performance or user experience. So it's giving you the flexibility to deploy, again, from public or private clouds. And a couple of the things here that we see that are unique to PC over IP, some of the features that you might care about, things like build to lossless, giving you extremely high fidelity for all of your workloads in design, CAD, rendering, VFX, color accuracy. These are things we're known for in the industry, and why, again, we've been arguably the gold standard for media and entertainment in a virtual workstation. And then the highest fidelity on any network is a key. We have dynamic network adaptivity, so that even if you're working from home, you're getting bottlenecked with other devices, we have dynamic network adaptivity in our product that helps to make sure that your performance is consistent no matter what the network protocol, no matter what's happening to the network. And then again, the endpoint security with Zero and Thin clients, they're stateless. They're just plugged in via Ethernet. It's a low power footprint. It's a low maintenance device, but yet you can connect multiple monitors, get again 4K UHD, and accelerate your work from home as a graphics intensive use case as an artist or anyone else in the pipeline. And then we mentioned the Wacom devices again. They're one of our close partners, and if y'all are using Wacom devices, it's really a wonderful, seamless experience using them with Teradici. Okay, so our other flagship product that we're talking about, and we've mentioned several times now, is CAS, Cloud Access Software. So while PC over IP is the protocol and the foundation um, of really our whole portfolio, CAS is actually the remote desktop solution that enables you to deploy that virtual desktop environment, Windows or Linux, again, from any multi-cloud or on-premises architecture to any device. So we're going to be talking about CAS and why that's such a good solution for studios, really anyone in game development, game production, anyone in the industry. And again, we'll share some specific examples. Okay, and kind of summing up there again with a quote, and ILM is a really cool customer of Teradici, and we'll talk about them a little bit more later, but just kind of wrapping up the why Teradici piece, why PC over IP, technology with CAS, and you can see Kevin Clark, he's the engineering director at ILM. ILM is a big division of Lucasfilms, and it's really made it easier and faster for them. Their team is dynamic, it's distributed everywhere. They're meeting fast and heavy deadlines, and they're doing it with ease with our technology. So specifically, we're going to drill down into game development and learning. Now we're going to get into the fun part of the conversation here, right? So for game development and learning, right, we're going to go quickly here because we've talked about this, but easy to deploy, easy to manage and scale, ultra secure. The user experience is unbeatable. We give you the flexibility, again, to deploy from multi-cloud, on-premises, proven customer success. And really for studios and companies of all different sizes, we're making it cost effective and we're helping you migrate on your cloud journey. That's the key, is no matter where you are in your cloud journey, we've got customers that are 100% on premises, folks that are deploying a couple applications in the cloud, and folks that are all in on the cloud. And we support it all. That's the key, is that no matter where you are in your cloud journey, our technology can help you deploy remote workstations in a remote workforce for your graphics intensive use cases. All right, so specifically for gaming, game developers, some of the features you may care about, up to 4K resolution with cloud access software, up to 4 monitors, again, Windows or Linux. There's flexible licensing options, so you can do with some of the cloud marketplaces, you can even do hourly consumption. It's very easy to get started with us and try us out that way. We support multiple kinds of virtualized environments, again, for an on-premises or a cloud deployment. And let's take a look at the Zero client actually here. So this is the Teradici Zero client. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second and then go back in. Okay, so you should be able to see my Zero client here. And again, the 4 monitor support, these are 4 DisplayPort options. Ethernet cable, so it actually has to plug in through Ethernet. That's, again, why it's so secure. It's not going to be a wireless connection. USB, most of us use a simple dock with this, headphone, and then power. You can see actually some pretty good cooling here too. This is an HP model. And I've been trying, folks, to get Zero clients with more RGB. Maybe you can help me out with that. But HP, Dell, there's a ton of manufacturers out there, but we got to get some Zero clients with RGB. That's my mission for 2021. Never have too much RGB, right, folks? But no, jokes aside, we're going to dive back into the content because we've got about 10 more minutes here. Okay. So again, diving into the cloud, if you folks are using the cloud today, Teradici is a great solution for you. If you're not using the cloud, Teradici is still great, and we can help you get there if you're interested in moving to the cloud. And the reason is that we work very closely with teams like AWS Game Tech, Microsoft Game Stack, Azure PlayFab. We support Google Cloud for gaming. We work very closely with our cloud partners to deliver a seamless experience with their products and their suite of solutions for gamers, right? And through that, we help artists and help studios meet their deadlines faster, improve their efficiency, be more secure, and accelerate digital transformation. Everybody talks about digital transformation. What is it? A specific example, right, is moving to a work from home initiative. That's it. And that's very one specific example, and folks are doing it all the time with Teradici. And then again, the key is cost-effective and versatile GPU options. So you're not locked into a specific card. You don't have to have an extremely bulky, heavy workstation. You don't have to have this under your desk. You can, obviously. We love the big gaming rig as much as anyone else, but you can free up that hardware and you can actually, shift from the small NVIDIA-based or AMD-based instances in the cloud to X large NVIDIA instances. And depending on your workload, depending on your need at the time, right, you can tune that up or tune that down and attain a super high level of return on investment and keep your cost of ownership extremely low for those cloud resources. And that's evidenced by one of our strongest customer case studies. If you Google Teradici tangent, you can see this case study in its entirety. But Ken Zorniak, the president and CEO, very adamant about continuing to use Teradici Cloud Access software with AWS because they're only paying for the GPU power that they need when they need it. So very powerful stuff there for those of you who maybe are thinking of investing in cloud, but are perhaps a little bit tentative because of the cost. Definitely check it out with us, and we can run some numbers with cloud sizing calculators and run through exactly how much that would be. Okay, so here's an example reference architecture of what a virtual GPU workstation would look like for a game developer or tester. Right, so you can deploy any of your applications. We've just thrown a few on there: Unreal, Unity, Blender, Autodesk Maya, Lumberyard, Houdini, side effects, right? Really anything. And if we don't support it today, we'll quickly find a way to do it. But taking advantage again of the newest NVIDIA, the newest AMD instances, being able to rapidly spin up and down workstations on different devices, right? Whether it's a Zero client with a monitor, laptops, Wacom tablets. These licenses are very flexible, and you can deploy them on a multitude of devices in many ways with different types of GPU instances. And then again, no matter where you are with whatever device, you have that same user experience as if you have, right, the full GPU workstation at your desk or under your desk. And let's focus specifically on Unreal Engine here too, folks. And we're doing this specifically because we have a very unique talk track with ILM. I mentioned them earlier and said we were going to talk about it. Here it is. We're going to go into a little talk track with Unreal Engine from Epic Games and why it's so compelling for Teradici and why we're starting to really work more closely with customers on all types of use cases related to Unreal. And really no disservice to any other applications. Certainly, we want to work closely with Unity as well and support Unity, any other engines that customers want to use. Simply in the interest of time, again, in the interest of the talk track here, we're going to focus on Unreal. But right, the cool thing with Unreal is that with film and television, we saw a lot of successful stories this year, one of them being The Mandalorian and the virtual production of The Mandalorian with Unreal Engine. And that was really cool to see the content being produced by that staff, meeting their deadlines. Obviously, one of the most popular programs on television right now, streaming, and the common denominator with ILM using Unreal Engine. And sorry, taking a step back here, right? This is something that's key for Unreal Engine itself, right? The whole crux of why Unreal Engine is so popular and moving into being a mainstay in VFX in the film industry now, right? It's kind of that play on words that Unreal Engine is the only way to make the unreal real, right? That's what they describe, and Tim Sweeney, the CEO, describes it here. It's the only way to achieve those final photorealistic pixels in real time, right? So that's what Tim Sweeney is saying makes Unreal Engine so special. Right, and then with ILM and Epic Games, The Mandalorian, this is an article that's from February this year, but really super compelling to see, again, the details of how this team used Unreal Engine to make it happen with The Mandalorian and bring this to life. And again, we mentioned ILM is a customer of Teradici. What's the common denominator in helping to bring Unreal Engine to life and helping their artists meet the deadlines and actually bring that to market this year without much delay? So going back to the Tim Sweeney quote, I think this is very relevant here from Kevin Clark again, the ILM director. And this is a public case study as well that you can find online, and you can see this quote. And Kevin said, right, because Teradici focuses on the pixel level transmissions, right? We do things like build to lossless, color accuracy better than anyone else. The artists are taking advantage of that, full HD, lossless imaging. And what does that result in, right? It's less time in review cycles. It's less time worrying, are the colors accurate, right? They have the confidence to know it's the best solution and, again, the gold standard. And the proof is in the pudding, right? The results of having that content brought to life in a speedy, rapid way, and in a way that was covered by those national publications with the really good articles there. All right, so summing it up, if you're using Unreal Engine, Teradici CAS is a fantastic solution for you. Again, Unity, any other engine as well. With NVIDIA or AMD instances, running out of the cloud, running out of a data center. But again, that's kind of the fundamentals: distortion-free, build to lossless, color accuracy, the multi-codecs, and then the dynamic network adaptation. Again, so important for working from home, working from other locations. When that network is not the best, the performance and user experience will remain consistent as best as our technology can do it. Okay, and then one of the final things we're going to wrap up with here is really, again, like the demand for Unreal Engine is massive. Same with Unity as well. And specifically, this report here from Burning Glass says it's 122% over the next 10 years is the demand for Unreal Engine skills. Right? Gaming, VFX, media and entertainment, architecture, engineering, construction, visualization and 3D rendering is becoming extremely important in all of those industries. And killer applications like Unreal and Unity are the common thread. And it's very important for us to be closely tied to those applications and make sure they work seamlessly with our technology. And one of the cool use cases that we're working with customers on more and more is helping them deploy training labs and learning labs for students and other folks maybe who are doing maybe game development boot camps or maybe temporary hackathons. Maybe you're doing a month-long hackathon event and you'd like to leverage some cloud GPUs and temporary virtual desktops. Teradici is a perfect solution for that. You're able to learn, develop, collaborate, share, publish projects from home and really from anywhere. Again, getting up and running quickly, it's super important. We've heard stories from our customers that have deployed this use case that their students love the experience. It's extremely fast. And then again, we've even heard reports that the dynamic network connectivity in some of these learning labs and students, again, who are competing on their home networks with family or whoever it is, their user experience is the same. And that's so important for folks who are learning. If you miss one important question or one key point that the teacher or instructor shares, that could really make a difference in your education. And so that's why Teradici, we think, is a super strong solution for that use case. And we continue to work with more and more companies. So if that's something you're doing now, something you're thinking of pursuing, definitely reach out. We're going to provide contact info here in a second. We'd love to chat with you about that use case. And yeah. Okay, and this is a super powerful case study with Fire Sprite Games. It's recently published, so very timely. You can find this on our website along with our game development solutions page. But Fire Sprite's a wonderful company, and they've worked with us deploying cloud access software for their home users, and they're using several applications, a few of which include Maya, ZBrush, Unreal Engine, and they're getting about 60 frames per second at 4K resolution with these workstations. So really good numbers there, great experience for them. And kind kind of going back to that last point, right? They're able to recruit and retain folks. And when they're onboarding new employees, that's something you may not often think about. Teradici is fantastic when you're onboarding new employees and new game developers, maybe interns. They can really get up and running quickly, get into their application, start playing around, start rendering, start working on their projects without worrying about the technology. So we make the infrastructure and the endpoint setup and management invisible to them and give them really a seamless, strong user experience. Okay, folks, so thank you so much for taking the time to learn more about Teradici. And if you'd like to learn even more, check out our landing page here. You can Google Teradici Game Development, Teradici Gaming. You can find it as well. Contact us at sales@Teradici. You can contact me, follow me on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter as well. Engage with us on social media. Take care. Bye now.